Hello everyone, welcome back. We are looking at how to create this animation, and in the last part we created the setup for the legs. This part we are going to look at how to create the walk cycle, add the background, and then render the animation. So we go back to Illustrator, and then you can see that we have our three controls and the body parts. What I did was unlocked all the layers, go to opacity and make sure that the opacity is 100%. And now we need to make the character walk, so I'm going to select the foot, then the ball. Okay, so click on the foot first, then select this and this, go to window, duik bassel, go to automation. We're going to click on walk cycle here, and you can see here the right foot is foot, left foot is foot 2, body is the ball. Okay, so we will click on create. There's some script error, but we can just ignore the script error, and you can see that the character is now walking and the body is moving up and down. Okay, so there are certain parameters here. So if you select the walk control, okay, it can be moved out so that it can be selected. Now you can play with the general motion, so you can make it faster. I'll make this 3 seconds long for testing. Okay, so you can see that if you go to window or view show ruler, this is the ground plane and the leg is going below. So we will go to secondary controls, feet, and the feet rotation is what is going to fix that one. Okay, and the other thing is the feet height. So you can increase the feet height and the rotation to fix things. Okay, so nothing goes down. Then you can look at the body and the hip swing doesn't do anything. The body swing, the up and down motion can be enhanced. So if I type 15, so it goes up and down like a ball, okay, which I like. Neck and head, I don't think this works. In the main parameters, you can go to walk cycle and then you can increase the gap between the legs. Okay, if you go to character, energy I made 25, softness 30, so you have to play with these parameters to get the walk cycle right. Okay, so how to move the character up? Okay, so you can simply move the position up and then the character will walk. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so that's better. Okay, so once you have all these things, you can go to composition, new composition. You can name it final. Okay, and then you can bring your character in there, and then here you can further scale the character if you want to make it big or small. We will import our background, so we'll import the street file. So if you look at the street file, I'll import it as a composition. I separated the trees, and I think this building has to be separate, but the tree and the foreground can be one. Okay, so basically the tree is in the foreground, the tree and the pavement is in the foreground, and the buildings are in the background, and the character will be in the middle. So we will double click the street, and if in fact we are going to use this as the final, so I'll delete this final, and our street is going to be the final, and the character is going to go between the tree foreground background and the buildings. Alright, so what we need to do is make these 3D so the character can be in the middle. File, I will open the other one. And then this is in the foreground. Okay, only the trees are in the foreground, and then this and this is in the background. The character is in the middle. I put the shadow for the character, and then I added directional blur for the shadows. These layers are 3D, and if you go to two views, you can see that the building and the foreground layer is in the back, the trees are in the front, and the character will stay in the middle. I added a camera, and camera options, depth of field is on, and the focus distance is in the center, so both the trees and the background is blurred out, and the aperture will decide the blurriness of the buildings. Okay, so you don't want too much blurry, but you have to have this effect so the character stands out. And that's about it. Once that is done, go to one view, and we can reduce this to preview it. Okay, so the leg should not go below the ground. And then you can see that nice blurry trees, the background is blurry and the character stands out. Okay, the camera position has been animated. So what I did was I scaled these to 200 so it is much bigger, and then of course once you scale it you will have to move it up and down to align it properly. And then the camera has been animated. Okay, so if you go to the two views, you can see that the camera is animated, and you have to really sync the walk cycle with the camera animation so that the character doesn't slide. Okay, so this is just trial and error. So just place a camera so that you are at the end of one side and then you animate onto the other side, and then you see what values work. You just have to play and then see if here when the character lands, like here, is there any sliding happening. Okay, so this is a good place to check. So it lands on the line and it stays there. There's not much sliding happening there, so you have to work with that. Alright, and then you have to go to File, Export, Add to Media Encoder, depending on how long you want it, and then you render it out. Okay, so that's about it.